Shalom, call halal Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushua, Ba'Hashem Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them to tell us is true. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity. All right, I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with another lesson. And this lesson is going to deal with Jacob's trouble is beginning to show itself. All right. So let's get there real quick. It's Jeremiah 30 and 7. Start here at 5. Jeremiah 30 and 5. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all the faces are turned into paleness. All right? Everybody in a moment is going to understand that, the Most High is doing his thing. You won't be able to ignore it because everything is going to be so different than any other time on the face of the earth. All right? 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay, now here's the important part. So that none is like it. So that none what? No day. There's never been a day on the face of the earth like the day that is coming. And not one day, but a period of time. What time? It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. All right? Let's get Daniel real quick. Because to understand that, you can't really wrap your head around it. All right? This is Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble. Okay? And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was, since there was a nation even to that same time. Okay? There'll be a time of trouble such as never was on the face of the earth. All right? So saith Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua. All right? He's the one controlling things. He's the one that wrote the story. This is his movie. So what time are we in? We're at the time, that part in the movie. All right? Now let's confirm that with a little breaking news. Okay, this is American Doofus channel, premiered less than a day ago, 23 hours. The title is Breaking News: Protester Killed by Car in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, and let me say this devil done passed laws and legislation that you can use your car to drive into protesters while they're marching. Okay, to show you how upside down things are at this time. How do you pass legislation to allow people to drive their car into protesters? Okay, I don't know if they passed that legislation or that law in Minneapolis. I'm not sure, but mark my word, those laws are on the books in some cities. Okay. Anyway, so that what does that do? It encourages these devils to go out and do what they're doing. All right, and are they doing it? They're doing it. Anyway, let's watch Barry real quick.
Last night, I was watching a protest in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the live stream I was watching and monitoring, things had been peaceful and quiet, and I did not do a report on it. 5 minutes after the live stream ended that I was watching, and I turned things off, a car ran through a group of protesters in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and several people were injured. including the driver of the car, as he was being extradited from the car, if you will, by fellow protesters. I sadly report that one of the people died that was hit by the car. A lady passed.
It's called murder by vehicle. All right. And we'll see if this guy is charged or what the situation is. You know how they hold themselves not guilty, but anyway.
Right. This obviously is footage of the aftermath. The white man you see being escorted is the driver of the vehicle.
You can clearly see the chaos, right, in this situation. But the point is that this is going to grow exponentially throughout the country. And now here come the cops, right? And they're screaming hands up because the cops could get out and shoot whoever they want to in a confusing situation like this. Is just pure chaos. This is mayhem. All right. And how do you get here? You pass laws that say you can use your car to run people over at a protest. It comes down from the top. All right. And then you have scenes like this.
So we get shot.
This is right out of a Spike Lee movie. Okay? Do the right thing. Radio Raheem got choked out and then everybody came at the cops crazy. So can you see how they're setting the situation up? And that girl right there looked like the girl I'm about to show in the next. This one right here. Keep your eye on her. It might be the one I'm about to show in this next. I just saw a little Black Lives Matter. That. What does this say? Black Lives Matter?
So we were down on 38 Chicago. We were literally playing red light, green light after we got done playing a volleyball game. And someone came to 100 miles an hour and they hit the car in front of the blockade. And the car flew out and it hit a woman. And so we have a woman that potentially might be dead and is bleeding out here on the street. Here's the first car, and there's the second car right there. He came to 100 miles an hour, and he sped up on his way down. piece of shit. Piece of shit. Yeah, he sped up as he got closer. This way he took it. He came from this way. He was going at 80, and then he ended up into 100.
Okay, so you can see the chaos in the mayhem. All right. Now, this happened like 2 days ago. I believe it was Sunday. Now we'll go to this video here. This is the next morning in Minneapolis. All right, let's watch this because this is where things are going. All right. Here's where the country as a whole is going. This is the girl here that got shot. And she's not shot. She got hit by the car and she's dead. Okay? Let's see. Let's check this real quick.
Big time.
Slovakia.
And
Family members have identified the protester hit by an SUV in Uptown last night as 31-year-old Deanna Marie. Our Heidi Wigdahl spoke to Deanna's brother, who says his sister always stood up for things she believed in, even if it put her life in danger. Heidi joins us now live from Uptown, where Deanna is being remembered tonight. Hi, Heidi.
Yeah, Rena, people are gathering here in Uptown in honor of Deanna Marie. The 31-year-old was killed just 3 days before her birthday. Family of Deanna Marie describe her as someone who was always taking care of others.
She was probably the most wonderful person you could ever imagine. She would, in the most literal sense, tear the shirt off her back to make sure somebody was warm. She, no matter how dark her life was and how bad things got, she was doing everything she could to take care of somebody else and provide for them.
Garrett Knightek says his sister always stood up for what she believed in. The 31-year-old was in Uptown Sunday night, protesting in the area where Winston Smith was shot and killed by members of a U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force earlier this month.
The things that she stood up for was willing to give her life for it, and for other people around her. You know, she was in a blockade to try to protect people.
Garrett says Deanna had parked her car as a shield for the protesters. He said she was standing near it when the driver of an SUV sped towards the crowd.
He just came to 100 miles an hour.
so he was coming with so much force that he hit another vehicle, and that vehicle hit and killed an individual.
Don't let go! Don't let go!
Protesters held the suspect down until police took him into custody.
She was, my sister, and she was somebody's daughter, and she was a hero to a lot of people.
Okay, so here we have it. All right. What we're looking at is the Most High is turning things up. Okay. Now, when I say that, this next video will show exactly that. All right. Now, that was the girl that got killed, and this is the next morning after whatever it was, the protest, the murder, whatever you want to call it. Let's watch this.
Son.
Slovakia. Watch this from the top.
If you're just joining us at 5:30, we have breaking news. A woman is dead and another person is injured after a vehicle drives into
Slovakia. This is Care 11. This is a news channel. And this was yesterday, the 14th of June. And the headline reads, or the title reads, "Woman killed after car drives in a crowd of protesters in Uptown." All right. This is in Minneapolis where Prince lived, and he wrote a song called Uptown. Okay. Anyway, let's watch this.
protesters on Lake Street. It happened near Lake and Girard, just down from the 7 Point Shopping Center.
Now, remember what I said about the Most High escalating things as far as the time of Jacob's trouble and the time that we're coming into. And this video shows exactly what I'm talking about.
Edwards is in that area, and Kyer, there's still some activity there this morning, right?
Yes, Chris, and some tense moments, hearing some shouting about a block away a little bit ago. There's about a dozen people gathered blocking the road there And dozens more were out last night protesting U.S. Marshals shooting Winston Smith. Now, we talked to Minneapolis police this morning, and here's what they're telling us about the car driving into protesters. We'll pull up this video now. They're telling us that at around 11:40 last night that they were monitoring the protest and that they observed on camera someone drive into a group of people who were out protesting. Police say protesters pulled the driver out of the car and, according to witnesses, they say began striking the driver. Once officers got there, they took the suspect to the hospital for his injuries. Meantime, first responders took two protesters to the hospital. One of them, the woman, they say she died at the hospital. We talked to someone on scene about what happened.
People were having a joyous time, and then for that to happen, like, you know, people are still kind of like reeling in from that. It's a tragedy for sure. They kind of just blocked the car in, made sure that, you know, he is held accountable for or at least gets a day in court to, I guess, explain how in the
Apparently
world that happened.
All right, Salaki, this is the video that I want. All right, this is just more of the same. So Salaki for that. Where is it? Let me find it. Unless they pulled it down. Let's see. Let's try this one. Salaki.
Hey, so check it out.
This is the next morning. Okay. This is Fox 9, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Driver plows into protesters in Uptown, killing a woman and injuring 3 people. Okay, Fox 9, KMSP. Let's watch this.
Developing this morning, a woman is dead after a vehicle drives into protesters in Uptown.
And the suspect is in custody. Police say he was pulled from his vehicle and attacked by protesters.
Okay, so this is what happens the next morning.
Our Bill Keller is live in Minneapolis as a dangerous morning continues to play out. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we just saw someone setting off some fireworks just a moment ago. Minneapolis police, though, they have cleared the scene after a small group blocked Lake Street following the death of a fellow protester overnight. In fact, my photographer and I had just turned onto Lake Street about 6 o'clock this morning when we were stopped by someone, told to turn around. A short time later, we heard gunfire. It was kind of a tense and dangerous situation for a lot of folks this morning. Drivers being caught off guard by those who had blocked the road. We even saw someone with a gun open fire in that confrontation. They're yelling at drivers, telling them to go somewhere else, saying that a woman had died here. About 15 minutes later, at least 5 Minneapolis police squad cars had actually gone to the scene to try and get things under control, quickly apprehending somebody, at least 2 people taken into custody. I can tell you that this is all in response to what happened last night.
So they're shooting. People are so mad after what happened the night before. They came out the next morning strapped up and shooting randomly at people, okay? To let you know that this thing is about to spiral out of control. This is going to be the norm, okay? In every city, you're not going to be able to walk down the street. People are going to be shooting at each other because they're mad. Now, what's going on? The Most High is turning up the heat on everybody, okay? I'm not making it up. We're watching it, okay? I'm just reporting on it. Now, let me look at this one more time.
Gun open fire and that confrontation.
Okay, I was wondering if she had a pistol, because she seems to be standing there cool. All right, this girl is shooting at people. Now she's running because the police are coming. Look at that again. So anyway, the Most High is turning things up.
Later, we heard gunfire. It was kind of a tense and dangerous situation for a lot of folks this morning. Drivers being caught off guard by those who had blocked the road. We even saw someone with a gun open fire in that confrontation. They're yelling at drivers, telling them to go somewhere else, saying that a woman had died here. About 15 minutes later, at least 5 Minneapolis police squad cars had actually gone to the scene to try and get things under control, quickly apprehending somebody, at least 2 people taken into custody. I can tell you that this is all in response to what happened last night near Lake Street and Girard. The driver hitting a group of people who had gathered there to protest the death of Winston Smith by U.S. Marshals. Police say they were monitoring those protests when cameras had started to...
North Star Task Force.
We've got someone here who wants to clarify that it was the North Star Task Force, the U.S. Marshals.
Killed Winston Smith.
Police say that 4 protesters were injured, 1 critically. 1 woman was taken by ambulance to HCMC where she later died. The expected to recover after running into that group. Witnesses say that that driver was pulled from the vehicle, attacked by the crowd. Police took him to the hospital where he was treated for injuries. We'll go back to you guys.
Okay, so this thing is spiraling. All right, and then over the weekend, I believe, in a like 24-hour period, there were multiple mass shootings all over the country. And I should have had that queued up. There's a video showing that. I don't know if I can find it. Let's see. See if really quick if I can find it. Multiple mass shooting. Let's see. It's lucky. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Let me see. Called for major cyber attacks. Let's see. Oh, I don't see it. Let's see. Anyway, multiple mass shooter attacks. All right. I don't see it right now. I'll have to do a separate report on the separate lesson. Spencer Needs. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, things are spiraling out of control for sure. All right, so let's get some precepts here. Let's just go to let me see. Let's go to Matthew real quick. Because the prophecies are jumping off the pages right now. This is Matthew 24. And what is it? 21. Right here. Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation. This is the time of Jacob's trouble. Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Okay? That's a strong set of words. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. That's the time we're looking at right now. When people just take to the streets and start shooting randomly, it's going to cause more of that. When people are allowed to use your car to run over people protesting, all right? Imagine what that would, if they would have passed laws in the 1960s when Martin Luther King was out in the street leading protest marches. Imagine if it was okay to take your car and run them all over and be backed by the law. Okay, letting you know that things are escalating. Here we are, it's what, 50 years later? All right, now you can run people over. Their only way of trying to stop what is happening to them is to protest in the street. Okay, let's go to 2 Ezra 15. I'm gonna try to keep this short as possible. All right, so, but this is the time that we're in. Right here, 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. Well, this lady is out there with a sword in her hand, the modern day sword, which is a gun, and she's just shooting randomly because she's mad, right? Well, who's doing that? The Most High is doing it. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. She didn't give a damn. The police are on their way. She tried to run. She got caught. She didn't give a damn. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So we're at the beginning of these times right now. Okay? All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. What is great tribulation? Well, what we see when we see people running into each other using their cars and killing people, and then people, you know, getting mad at that and taking to the street and just start shooting. She had a pistol. Imagine if she had a chopper, which is an AK-47. All right, imagine. Well, that's what's coming. All right. So anyway, this is getting long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. Hope that the elect were edified, and until the next lesson, shalom.